Today, friends, we are talking about Forza Horizon 5 and how it may be around this very corner. Multiple information leaks are dropping, and actually, I am very excited for this. We have a racing game this year, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple leaks are saying that Forza Horizon 5 is not only coming out this year, but it'll also be set in Mexico. So today, we are watching gameplay of Forza Horizon 3, which in my opinion is the closest we could get to Forza Horizon 5. So basically, we're going to dive in today a little bit about what I think and is this true? Now, if you don't know, there's not been a proper Forza since 2018, which was actually Forza Horizon 4. Normally what happens, every other year, a Forza Horizon game comes out. And then every other year in between those years is a Forza Motorsport. Now, if you didn't know, Forza Motorsport is currently looking like it's going to be a very long time before we ever see that. They're having issues scanning tracks, and that's a pretty important aspect in terms of a track racing game. And I doubt it's a surprise to any of you that Corona has caused some issues in game development. Not even just the release of the brand new consoles. A lot of people can't even get the new consoles, which is why you'll be happy to know I think it's going to be on all the consoles, last gen and new gen, not 360. I'm sorry. But basically, for the last year plus, we've not been able to work properly in offices, which is just insane to think about. And that's where games are made. Now, of course, they've been working on these games at home, but I would say it's definitely affected everything. Like, not all companies are equipped and ready to work from home. When you gotta scan tracks, I kind of can't do it from home. In my opinion, Forza Horizon 5 is going to drop on are you ready? I'm gonna try this in one go. Xbox S, damn it, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series S, Xbox One X, Xbox One S, and Xbox One. Ha, got it. But also, not forgetting PC. There's the Microsoft Store, and not even forgetting the Horizon 4 launch on Steam recently. So in terms of how this is going to play then, it makes sense that this, in my opinion, is going to be maybe a little bit better visually and performance, everything wise than the previous Forza Horizon, but I personally think it's not going to be a huge jump considering the fact that we do still have the last gen consoles. At least, you know, they're actually making a game for us all to play while there's the drought of racing games. For those of you that didn't pay much attention to Forza Motorsport, they actually updated the game a lot. And again, the same with Forza Horizon 4 recently. I expect that to continue to take place with the next games. And why this is important is because Forza Motorsport, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, never needed to be annually or biannually. It just doesn't. I think they could release one motorsport game a generation and update it. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, but I think they're going to slow down the release of them. I don't think it's going to be biannually anymore for motorsport. Whereas Forza Horizon, on the other hand, definitely fits that biannual model, which is pretty sick. We'd have Forza Horizon and Need for Speed biannual. That's pretty cool. In my opinion, if Forza Horizon 5 was going to come out, I personally think that it was due in 2020. But I think these lockdowns and stuff really had an effect on that. And also, that they probably thought that they were going to release Forza Motorsport last year. And I think the same for Gran Turismo. I thought they thought they were going to be launch titles or launch window games, maybe sometime before now. But basically, that's not going to happen, and then very unlikely to come out this year. They've still got another year plus, in my view, so it would make sense to fill this slot with the Horizon game that was expected to come out when? I wonder when it would have come out. If Motorsport came out on the launch of the Series X and S, well, it makes that this year would normally be a Horizon. That also then gives us another year to get back on track for the Motorsport series. It just makes sense. So I am pretty certain that we will get a Horizon very soon. Anyway, it is on to Mexico. That's the main reason a lot of you guys are here. You want to hear about Mexico and my thoughts on it? Am I excited? Yes, I actually am. Thinking about it, I've had some time to digest this information. I'm sure you guys have too. But I would say a lot of people say their favorite map is Forza Horizon 3. And that's why we're on Horizon 3 today, because in my opinion, it's a good map. I personally am a Horizon 2 map person. Horizon 1 is still by far the best built game in my opinion, but I do like the diversity of this map. It has a lot of variation, but most importantly, it has desert. And that's, to a lot of us, the first thing we think of when we think of Mexico. Now, I would say we're very mistaken in terms of that, because Mexico has a lot to offer. For example, we've got the deserts, yes, of course. We've got Baja racing and the like. But then we've also got some of the most beautiful looking beaches I have ever seen. I said beaches. The car culture of Mexico is just mental. It's one of those weird places, in my opinion, that is developing their taste in a lot of things. And they pull a lot of aspects from a different place. For example, like in the UK, we have the very same thing, but in Mexico, they go extreme. They go more extreme. It's like how America has much more extreme car culture than the UK does, but Mexico goes one step further, and they build a lot of custom stuff. Can you tell I watch those Netflix shows? But another good advantage to the fact that it is going to be a lot of desert instead of grass. In my opinion, my knowledge is a little bit higher than average in terms of how these worlds are rendered onto display. And of course, we got to account for the Xbox One, the original Xbox One. I would say deserts are easier to render in terms of grass. Grass has to react, and think of all the cars on the screen have to affect the grass. In the desert, nothing really happens. It lays extra textures over the top to make it look like you're driving through it, but that's it. It's not actually deforming how it actually is. So in my opinion, desert is easier to render, which for anything may actually mean that the game could look better than Forza Horizon 4, which is pretty cool. You want enhancements even on the base console. But this brings us on to the biggest feature of Forza Horizon 4, which was seasons. And I'm gonna say, I don't think it's gonna carry on, at least in the way that we currently know. Of course, a lot of us don't like when the winter rolls around. It's super annoying when you get a supercar or hypercar into the game and it's in winter. It's painful because you wait for the summer or the spring or the nice seasons to enjoy that car properly. And it's the same in real life, which I thought was actually quite cool. But anyway, Mexico doesn't get snow as often, as you could probably imagine. In my opinion, there's 2 seasons in Forza Horizon 4. There's just 1 week where no one wants to play, and that's totally understandable. But as I said, I think it's going to be a little bit different, considering that Mexico doesn't have the same weather structure as the UK. In my head, when I picture Mexico, of course, I think deserts and very nice tropical areas. They do have rainforests too, and that instantly gives me a whole idea of what the weather could be like. We could think of hurricane season, where the dust becomes a dust storm. That would be awesome. They did something similar on one of the island DLCs. So desert storms, hurricane season in general, rain season, and then there's the dry season. I think that's maybe how they lay this out, with extreme weathers rather than seasons. I think the seasons thing may be on its last legs for one game, which, again, I think this extreme weather thing would definitely be better and more exciting and more useful to the player. Desert Storm just sounds sick for Baja Truck. You just instantly can't see anyone. So what will the map be like, though, considering it's still on the last gen platform? Surely that's going to limit the map size, and I doubt we're going to get much difference. As I said, though, desert is a little bit easier to render than grassland and such from my, again, above slightly average experience, but it doesn't mean it'll necessarily be a bigger map without really lowering the quality and such. But if the desert is a big component of it, it does mean we can have a nice big dense city around the side or in the middle. I think that's a really cool idea. A lot of desert with a lot of desert driving roads, but I do want a rainforest too. But we're forgetting that Mexico has some of the best beaches in the world, and of course I expect there to be at least one city, because that's normally what they do in a Horizon game, is have a major city. And of course Horizon 3 City is just the prime example of something they could achieve and do, but maybe even just a bit brighter. Now, I do still expect a Dubai map to come soon. I've been saying it for years. I think Dubai is going to happen before Japan. I'm still set on it. I think it's a better idea in terms of Forza. It fits perfectly, considering everything is so easy to unlock and easy to obtain. Dubai makes total sense, and I think they have enough variation for it to work. And I'm surprised that this isn't Dubai, but I'm not disappointed. I'm actually more excited about this idea than I could be for anything. Like, I don't know much about Mexico, and this game is going to teach us a little bit, because the Forza Horizon 4 taught a lot of people about the UK a little bit, and our small roads, except the roads are much smaller than they are in Horizon 4, so don't let that fool you. But You know what? Ultimately, I can't wait to drive on the wrong side of the road. On games, I drive on the wrong side of the road. Even in the UK, on the game, I drive on the wrong side of the road. I can't drive on the correct side of the road in a game. It's just not right. So we're going back to the other side of the world where they drive on that side, and I'm kind of happy about that. So there you go. Horizon 5 may just be around the corner. I'm actually excited. I am very, very much looking forward to exploring Mexico, and I'm hoping the multiplayer features is what we get focus-wise. Now, here's ultimately something I want to leave in your brains before we head off. Do you think this may finally be the Forza game where they add bikes? I'm not going to give my opinion just yet, but I like that idea. All right. Thanks so much for watching this video, friends. Be sure to smash like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, peace.